listening to the Paracasual Destiny Podcast. Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Paracasual Destiny Podcast. We're getting a late start this morning due to some technical difficulties, but hopefully you can hear me and you can see us. And, well, not our faces yet, but you can see the visual, and we're going out live at this point. I am joined by Salliebug. Salliebug, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just hope everybody out in YouTube land can hear you out on the stream. And we're also, Sally and I are joined by Greenstego this morning. Stego, can you hear me?
Howdy.
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 How's everybody doing?
Okay.
Doing all right.
Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay.
So normally we start off this podcast with what everybody's been doing in Destiny and maybe otherwise, and take it from there. Salliebug, what have you been up to?
Well, in the Destiny-verse, not too much. I got on, we realized last night that I got on for the first time all week last night. So, we did a little bit, right? We struggled trying to get enough blueberries in for a round of escalation protocol because I have one boss left on my World Line 0 catalyst, and unlike you, I did not keep track of who I had and who I didn't, so now I'm just kind of going through the rounds, trying to do it every week.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I am marking them down now, so I've done 2, and it looks like I must have done those because I wish there was another way in game for that to happen, but like for us to track it so that I could just say, oh wait, it's not this one this week, but that's my own bad for not writing it down even though you advised me to.
I remember telling you better write them down, because how many are there? There's 5, you said, right?
Yeah, I think in my
just
head I was just thinking,
enough to, not be able to remember which ones you got and which ones you didn't.
I don't know if in my head I thought, oh, I'm just going to remember, or, oh, I end up on Mars and do escalation protocol every week anyway, so it's just going to happen naturally. Anyway, neither one of those did happen, so,
right.
Yeah. So I did that, and we did contact, or means to an end, and that's it. That's what I did. We also discovered that, so we decided based on the list, and that was partly due to our podcast last week, at looking at all the things that you would want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But before all the things go into the Destiny content vault, and we decided to put our focus on exotics and catalysts. And so I thought, oh well, bad juju shouldn't be too bad. Just go to the tribute hall, see which tributes I have left, and that was a little discouraging for me.
Why is that?
Well, I feel like you need 45 total to get the bad juju catalyst.
45 tributes? Is that what it is?
45 tributes. Right. And I have 35.
Ooh,
and
only 10 more.
That I'm missing, right, the 10 that I'm missing, some are definitely doable on my own. Meaning it's just going to the Crucible wearing Leviathan, Callus gear and weapons, or going to Gambit and, kill Guardians with with weapons, but some of them, what is it? You and I looked at it this morning. I think it was like at least 4 of them are completing raid encounters. And that was a little discouraging because that requires me to find a raid team to do all that with me, and I don't know what the percentage of progress is. It's like, how many encounters do I actually have to do?
Right. And that's encounters wearing callus based armor, right? Hello? Do you hear?
Sorry, I had to blow my nose.
Oh, okay.
I
so that's
muted,
encounters using callus based armor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or weapons, right?
Right. And I
Right.
think you get better progress if you use, the more you use, and they mention exotics, and I don't know what the callus based exotics would be, to be honest.
Oh, there's one. The Teraba.
Well, we know bad juju.
Teraba.
We weren't sure whether or not
Bad juju?
Yeah, Teraba, and
Bad
we
juju.
weren't sure whether truth was included in that, because there was Leviathan stuff you had to do, or there was something you had to do with truth.
I'm trying to think what else might be a Leviathan.
Because I
I'll have to look that up.
some progress on that, and I don't know what, and I don't think I went into Gambit. I had some progress in Gambit with the kills of Guardians, and I haven't been. I feel like I haven't been wearing callus gear, so it must be related to the weapons that I had, and I can't remember what. And I know that I've killed a lot of Guardians with truth.
Yeah.
That was what made me think that maybe truth. Again, I wish there was like a list of what gear and
There
weapons
is.
that actually
You just haven't found it yet.
I haven't found
It's in
it.
Reddit,
Yeah, okay.
probably. So, Greenstego, what have you been up to, if anything? I know you've been very busy getting back to work and doing training and stuff there. So, have you been able to log in at all?
Yes. Dip my toes into the EAZ. And that
Hooray.
is fun. It's a fun activity that just kind of shakes things up. I think that some of the chests are in new locations. I think that we mentioned that before.
Right.
And that's a very interesting way to shake things up. And working on upgrading the armor to the legendary set so that I can purchase the gear ornaments from Tess Everest.
Is it getting down to the wire on that?
It is. Next week is the last week. So I have until the 8th.
Right, right.
So I got another week.
Are you just trying to get the magnificent armor, or are you just going to get...
Yeah. I'd like to get the magnificent armor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of grinding, but it's certainly doable. And of course, getting some help from, like, for us, like especially the EAZ runs, it was definitely helpful to get a third person, because you get more packages if you're coordinated instead of just going in alone. So seek out your other clan members.
Sure.
Because
Yeah, if you
Will
need
do.
help with anything, definitely just put it in the Discord or wherever, and yeah.
When we're hopping on and looking for a third, we will let the clan know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to streamline and plan a little better since work has started for us as well, and I'm looking for ways to do like 45-minute sessions during the evening. So I'm always, of course, one of the things with Destiny I feel is learning the art of multitasking, doing an activity where you're making progress in 3, 4, sometimes 5 different areas. And where I've decided to focus on is in the I'm focusing like Salliebug was talking about with the tribute hall. I'm trying to get, because that's going away, right? So I'd like to get that bad juju catalyst as well, but I'd also just like to get a few of the triumphs. So that entails doing the bounties from the tribute hall. I'm also looking to, by November 10th, taking my best armor and upgrading it all. So I want to do a stockpile of enhancement cores. That's the other thing. And I also want to hit up as many other triumphs that are going to go away, like some of the story mission triumphs, for example, or some of the other catalysts. Like I'm working on the hard light catalyst. So I've planned out my run, and basically I pick up the Banshee bounties for the enhancement cores. I pick up the Tribute Hall bounties that are doable quickly, and those are either the multi-kills or do 2 public events without dying. I don't choose the Gambit or Crucible ones because those take more time to do. And then I load up a story mission. In particular, if there's a story mission I need Forsaking story missions right now. I know that's not going away necessarily, but I already completed the ones that are going away. And then I look at what triumphs there are for my class abilities in the account triumphs for whether I'm running my Warlock, Hunter, or Titan. And if I need, flashbang grenade kills on my Titan, I'll load that up. If I need anything else from one of those. And then I'll just load up that story mission, go through. I knock out the Banshee catalysts. Make sure I don't die, because a lot of those Tribute Hall things are dependent on not dying. So I'll knock that one out, kills without dying. And then I'll switch it. Once I've got the Banshee catalyst done, I switch over to the catalyst I'm working on. And so that way I'm hitting up a catalyst, I'm hitting up account triumphs, I'm hitting up story mission triumphs, I'm hitting up Tribute Hall stuff. So I'm doing 4 or 5 things at once within that. And it usually takes a half hour to 45 minutes to do all 3 characters that way, depending on how long the story mission is that I choose, or that is the given story mission.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the catalyst and all of that, is this just like a personal, like, you've wanted to complete these triumphs but kind of got lost in other things?
Exactly.
And so now you're just trying to get them, because
I'm trying to also just figure out
some of these
if I have a plan like this, it kind of puts me in a situation where I have that goal, so it's a little more enjoyable to know that I'm making progress in multiple areas, and it's getting me to enjoy content that is going away in November. So it's sort of my plan of action to keep a foot in over the course of the rest of the season.
I find it difficult sometimes to stack those kinds of goals and progress to where I'm working on multiple goals at a time, where I'm picking up like the weapon loadout from Banshee, and that not being necessarily tied very well with some of the other bounties, or I don't have a exotic with a catalyst that I'm working on.
Right.
And so I find that kind of thing difficult for me to stack up. And I was very happy when I heard Luke Smith, I think, say that moving forward they're going to try to align those bounties more.
Right.
So if Gambit bounty said, get this many kills with an auto rifle, then Banshee was also going to have an auto rifle one.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Well, I noticed now that they do that already with the Singe. Or like, so if Banshee has kills with arc weapon kills, I noticed that the Singes are all arc that day for like the story mission or strikes or whatever. So they do have
They are starting to.
They are starting to align. I don't know. This is the first time I'm really have come up with this sort of method of making a lot of progress in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, feel like you're doing.
Yeah, it's fun for me knowing that.
You like checking off boxes.
I do.
That's
I do. I
like
like that.
having a list and checking off boxes.
It's a good feeling. Yeah.
I found it. I kind of sort of got stuck because we play together a lot. I kind of got sucked into that and started doing story missions with you, and then I realized how many I actually needed to do, and it's like, besides just checking off those boxes, what else does that do for me? And I'm like, if I like that particular, because I'm not like triumph farming trying to like get all the triumphs, so because that would be impossible. If there were any that we could get, I definitely am looking for the Moments of Triumph one, and that is something that we did after our last podcast. Was we completed Crown, right? Was that last week?
Week before
last.
Oh, that was a week before. So, but we have we have most of what we need for Moments of Triumph. The only thing we're missing is the stuff related to the quest for the exotic weapon that hasn't been released yet. So
yeah, that's it.
I'm feeling good about that. That we'll have that. And I
Traveler's
don't
Chosen.
think I'm trying. I didn't get Moments of Triumph from last year. I don't know what I missed. Probably the raid stuff. It was, that you'd think in the summer that would be. I think we were just a little less active.
Yeah. I'm going to say one last thing raiding. About my crazy kill 10 birds with one stone, or kill 3 Ahamkara with one fusion rifle shot.
All right.
I'm going to say that one of the most enjoyable things is collecting those enhancement cores. By the way, I just learned this morning that the spider wanted bounties give you enhancement cores as well, so that's going to be another waste of time for me. But if you need to stack, if you really want to upgrade some armor and you need those enhancement cores, spider wanted bounties are a place to go for some.
It's another
right.
thing that you could do if you're just getting tired of doing Altars of Sorrow or whatever else you're doing to complete some of those other bounties.
Well, yeah, the Banshee bounties give you the enhancement cores, but you can also get the wanted ones if you're looking for those.
Spider wanted bounty.
Yeah, if you're in an enhancement core farm, it's another avenue. But what I was going to say is, this has gotten me to hop on my other characters. With more regularity, which has been great. I'm really enjoying that aspect of it, just exploring the Hunter again and the Titan, which I feel is an appropriate thing to do before Stasis comes into play.
Oh, Stasis! Let's talk about Stasis.
Let's talk about Stasis.
I'm going to go AFK for a bit. I'll be right back. You two get started.
Okay. So
Salliebug rejecting the gifts of the darkness,
or embracing them, depending on what she's doing. So, have you seen the latest trailer or footage?
I have. What
are your feelings about that?
I am so excited. They know just how much to tease about the upcoming content to keep me hooked. It feels like, well, what else could they possibly tease without going into too much more detail? And they give just enough detail.
Yeah.
They give a closer look at all the kinds of abilities. I'm really looking forward to this is making me very excited to branch back out into my alternate characters. I'll definitely still play on my primary character.
Right, yeah.
My Titan.
Your Titan.
But I'm very excited to have this content breathe fresh life into my Hunter and my Warlock.
Yeah, the Warlock in particular, if I had to pick a main, it would be Warlock. I guess I've played the most. I took a hiatus from my Hunter and Titan up until recently, like I was saying before, and I agree with you. Looking at some of these abilities, it's looks like it's going to really inject. It's going to be a shot in the arm for the game in terms of.
It really is. It looks like everything is going to change.
And of course, there's been some rumblings. I don't know how people are coming up with these. I guess it's a combination of jumping to conclusions, and which is a natural thing you want to do when you're seeing new stuff like this. But also, I feel like people are within their rights to speculate, especially if you've been playing the game long enough and you can kind of see where things have gone in the past and where this might go. And a lot of people are already calling that the Crucible will be broken with Stasis.
I mean, when hasn't the Crucible been broken? The game is about having an outer space, super powerful guardian. It's like...
Right.
And Crucible is about butting heads with other super powerful, immortal, magical guardians. So
and the way it works is, right, they have a test team. So they have these test builds. They give them to their testers and say, here are these new abilities. Go do stuff in the Crucible. But they never really know how it's going to be used until they release it to the wolves, right? They release it to the millions of people playing.
Yeah, millions of testers.
Exactly.
And then you have those people who just say, like, oh my God, they used it in that way and we never even thought of that type of thing. So I always find that to be a super exciting time. One is I feel like it injects that those people who do tend to be PvP players and just don't like the PvE content, it gets kind of stale for them faster, right? Because there's fewer things to do. If all you're doing is going in and playing Crucible, that it injects that kind of newness and something different that you can do. Like that, what we just watched, like the building that wall to prevent yourself from getting hit and then coming over it and like just banging down on all those other guardians. I have no, I don't feel like that's something that I would be able to pull off. But it looks fun. It looks fun. I'm excited. I'm super excited to try it. Maybe not in the Crucible as much, but definitely in the other areas. Like, how can we use this ability in parts of the game that we already know, plus parts of the game that we don't know? Europa looks so amazing. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just shattering ice. I think that shattering ice, when I see like the particles of ice individually just obeying the laws of physics, shattering in every direction, it really makes me want the next, either to play on PC. If I ever were to move to PC, it would be with a controller. But
yeah,
or just get that next generation of console. Get the we're on Xbox in our clan.
Xbox One.
Xbox One, but to get that next gen console, I think it's going to be a real. I think they're teaming up with Microsoft in a way that's going to make people really want to go for the next generation console with what's coming. Not just with Beyond Light, but even further on, looking at fall 2021, I think there's going to be a big push. I think I can see them doing the Rise of Iron thing where they're going to, the next thing maybe in 2021. That might be a little early. Maybe sometime
dropping off Xbox One,
dropping off
and
the next
the
Witch Queen or whatever it is will be okay.
I think 2021
this is going to be
might be
Xbox Series
early.
and PS5 only, right? That's going to happen again. So
there is a question in the chat asking if anybody here has watched the gameplay footage with the sound design for Stasis. Because you were mentioning about the physics of it.
With the sound design.
Sooltime, have you watched that?
I have. I haven't. Is there is it like a short vidoc of like them doing the sound? Talking about the sound? Or is Fractious Heart just referring to the trailer with sound?
We actually did watch that, Neil. Remember, I forget who it was. It might have been the Aztec Cross video, but they released it was like the trailer B, so the footage that they were going to use for a trailer that they decided not to use, and so it's really just gameplay with the sounds of the ice.
Yes,
we did watch it. You might have that might have been the time that you fell asleep because you had just come back from work and were exhausted. So
thanks a lot for sharing that with the world. Now the world knows.
Outed.
Great.
Yes.
He's a
Salliebug,
human who sleeps.
Salliebug, we are live,
human
right?
Who sleeps. Yes.
All right. But yes, I think that the sound aspect really nails the immersive quality of it.
Can we listen to the sound for a moment here? Let me cue it up.
Cue it up.
And we're gonna see if this is an experiment. We've been having technical difficulties all the way through, so I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's give it a shot. See if it comes through.
The floodgates are open. The darkness is here. As you step away from the light,
Frozen Destiny logo.
we need only look inward. Focus your power. Let it grow. Our fight is far from over.
Sounds a little funky, I think.
I don't hear anything. Oh, well, I don't have my YouTube sound up. But I've heard it.
The music's amazing.
The sound design alone is so amazing, and one of my favorite sounds. And I feel like
hold up, Salliebug.
Okay.
Let it finish.
Let them come. This is their fate. One after another.
Yeah. Okay. The sound was kind of bad. I don't know. There was like a crackling going on, but you could still hear the ice going on, and the smashing and crashing, and of course the amazing theme. Now, I noticed in chat, Funny Bone mentions that they should bring Maka back in for a brand new Destiny Beyond Light Stasis theme song. This is how rumors get started.
Careful.
I think that was a bit of a one and done. I'm not sure he's interested.
Yeah.
I gotta say, while we're talking about sound design, one of my most satisfying sounds that I like in Destiny is when you collect the planetary materials. I just feel like they nailed that. Like every single one, like from the different planets, because they all have like a different sound. I think part of the reason that I collect planetary materials when I don't even really need them is because it's so satisfying to hear the sound as you're collecting it.
Yes. Bungie, I really appreciate their attention to little details like that. Like they really put in a lot of attention to those minor things that make the game that much more immersive and really make it feel like you are in this universe. Specifically with the gameplay footage, Fractious Heart was referring to another extended video, which features this hype trailer, which, again, the music that they're using now for their content, for the trailers, is very good at, like, hyping the crowd. But as opposed to, like, original Destiny 2, which kind of felt like it had a little bit more of an Activision influence to the way that they were trying to hype the player base. But right. The gameplay footage shows that hype trailer, and then it goes on to a little bit of exploring Europa and just thrashing trash mod ads with Stasis.
I'm trying to find that. Where can I find that?
I think it's on the website, and it's called B footage. Maybe if you just
did they put it on
Bungie
footage?
I think it's on Bungie.net, and it's called B footage. So it's footage for the trailer that they didn't actually use, but you can watch it and really hear the sounds
and it
of the
is
ice. And
satisfying.
So satisfying.
It's like an ASMR.
Kind of like, yeah. You want to watch it over and over again and just listen to the things freezing and then shattering. It's amazing. It's really good. So
another comment in the YouTube chat about living in the north. Funny Bone loves the sound of boots crunching in the snow.
Oh, yes.
I
feel like they're going to capture that.
Yeah,
I think so.
Sooltime, that is one of my favorite sounds. Is just that crunch of the snow. It's like everything is so quiet when it's snowy. So the whole world is like just like this really quiet. All animals have gone to hibernate. So it's just this very quiet environment. And then your boots here.
There is a very special
very
kind
satisfying.
of almost mystical feeling when it's like kind of dark, not too cold because you're bundled up enough, but when the powdery snow is falling down and it's got this layer on the ground, and just the way that your boots sound crunching it down, it's satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something great about it. Definitely.
And for this northerner who no longer lives in the north, it will be very special during November and December and January, exploring
it's
this icy world.
It's a way to experience it. You too can experience it without having to deal with the cold and the snow removal and the shorter days.
The shorter days, yeah.
The days getting dark at 3:30. So it's like experiencing all the good without having to experience the not so good. So yeah, I am super excited. I have a question for you. I had thought that we know the Drifter and the Exo Stranger and Eris are going to play a main role when we explore Europa. What is your thought, specifically you, Greenstego, because I've talked about this with Sooltime, but he hasn't said anything to the chat about, I think there's going to be a public space on Europa. And I think those three are going to be almost like vanguards.
Now hold on. When you say a public space, do you just mean like in Trostland, where Devon Kay is holed up? You don't mean just like a little encampment. You mean
I forget what they call a social space. I think there's going to be a social space on Europa. I could be wrong.
Do you think it'll be more like the farm, or will it be more like the moon and the sanctuary?
It makes me think of remember Rise of Iron had that small social space when it came out? I'm thinking like that it's going to be a social space that you can like kind of wander around and interact with. Do you remember Rise of Iron, Daniel, and that social space? It was kind of like near the mountain, and it was like almost like a part of Vostok, or looks a lot like
that. I would consider
Vostok.
a social space. And also, is where Eris Morn is on the moon, like Daniel mentioned, the sanctuary? Is that a social space? You can't. I guess it is because you can't aim down sights like while you're around there.
But it's a much smaller one.
Right, it's very small.
I think I think it's going to be a bigger social space similar to like what we had in Rise of Iron. I could be wrong here. I'm just speculating. I don't know.
If anybody in chat can get a link to the that gameplay footage, I couldn't find it on Bungie.net. You were calling it B footage, Sally?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Funny Bones saying how there's a Seattle connection between Bungie and Starbucks, and it would be nice if they put a Starbucks in the tower.
A Starbucks in the social space.
Yeah, which is like the perfect segue for a coffee break here, because I need to refill my coffee.
I definitely need. So are you going to put the music on so we can go get some coffee?
I'm going to put the music on so we can get some coffee. I'll get us some coffee, and then maybe while I'm doing that, you and Daniel can talk about something. Wrong one. Coffee break. There we go. It's time for a coffee break. We'll be back after these messages. Sally, I'll come in and get your mug and fill it up to the brim with a nice hot cup of coffee.
I can't wait.
Wow, that little coffee jingle was quite nice.
The coffee jingle is nice.
Now, I'm having a thought here brought about by our friend Funny Bone. Bungie Destiny has had crossover corporate deals with beverage companies in the past.
They have?
Well, yes, like a Red Bull or a Rockstar.
Yeah, they had that whole Rockstar thing going on. I forgot about that. Wow.
So maybe this Starbucks is not quite so outlandish of a thought. Maybe
you can get the Destiny coffee.
You can get a Destiny coffee
at Starbucks,
which comes with a little code to get 500 silver.
500 silver. Wow, that's generous. Probably not that. A chance to win 500 silver, maybe.
500 silver's not so much. You can't even get the ornament set
half of a
for
season
less than
pass.
1,200.
Stasis iced coffee from Funny Bone. That's exactly right. That'd be awesome. And it's blue. It's like blue coffee.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
Anyway,
yeah,
I don't have a link to. I was going to do a search for that bee footage to see if I could find it for Sooltime.
Are you searching the internet? Because that's where you're going to find it.
That is where I'm going to search. I'm going to search the internet here and look for Stasis.
This internet search brought to you by Bing. It's better than Google.
Stasis bee footage. I'm going to just try that and see what comes up.
How about look up Stasis B. Arthur?
B-roll footage and screenshots. That's on a YouTube channel. I wonder...
Did you guys already see that comment, Stasis iced coffee? To be on the menu? Yeah. Okay. I just got back from the coffee break. Did you guys talk about coffee at all, or did you go right back into business?
I think this B-roll footage, Sooltime, was released as a it was released to certain content creators. That's gonna be my guess.
So I might need to go to a content creator.
Search. The bonus it's called B-roll footage. So if you want to search it,
I don't understand. We create content. I don't understand why Paracasual Destiny Podcast didn't all receive
not
the
a
footage.
verified account.
Yeah, maybe it has to be a verified account. Anyway, so that's where you have to find it. I think that's where Fractious Heart probably heard it, was through one of the content creators who released it. So
well, I know she likes to watch some of the content creators, so.
Yeah, so go to any of your favorite Destiny 2 content creators. They will have that that footage available for you to listen to, and some of them do a great job of just like saying, we're just going to let this play out first and then we'll talk and be all hyped up. So
yeah
all right, so I have my second cup of coffee here.
Oh, and I have mine. It is delicious.
Why does coffee taste so much better on a chilly, rainy day?
Yeah, it's a chilly, rainy morning here in Maine, and the coffee is just extra good, isn't it?
Does it have an air of autumn to it?
I gotta tell you, it's gotten cold at night the past few days, and it's almost feeling like autumn here, like an early cool down in late August. Our late summer
Fractious Heart says that B-roll footage is downloadable through their website. Like, it's not like something that you can like just click on, but you can download it. So.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Maybe for next time?
Yeah, for next time.
We'll download it and play it and talk about Stasis some even more. The other thing that's happening this week is they're going to give us, there's going to be a couple of deeper dives into the new Stasis subclasses, And there's one on, I might have the dates here wrong. I think there's one on September 3rd.
September 1st.
Oh, it might be September
3rd, and September 8th. So we had the Gamescom drop. We've got the Gamescom drop. The trailer was on Thursday.
That's the one we're watching right now.
And then they're going to talk about each different subclass on Tuesday, on Thursday, and then the next Tuesday, which makes me think that on that following Thursday, there's either going to be a very big TWAB or a little bit more stuff is getting teased.
Wow. Well, and that's actually a great segue to talking about today's TWAB, or this week's TWAB.
Yeah, I've called it up for the viewers on YouTube. I've called it up.
I mean, most of the TWAB was just kind of like reiterating the hype of that Stasis trailer that came out and talking about those dates that Stego just told us about.
Right.
So if you have the extra time...
Oh, can we settle a bet here,
look at those...
Salliebug?
Okay.
Is it... they talk about the 3 new subclasses. It's Revenant and Behemoth. Is that how you pronounce that? Behemoth?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's a little bit of controversy about the Warlock because Fallout Plays pronounced it Shadebender.
I don't think that's a this isn't a bet at all. Everybody else pronounced it isn't it Shadowbinder?
It's not Shade.
It's Shade.
You can write at it on the top.
Shadebinder.
Binder.
Shadebinder. It's
okay,
definitely
so Stego's saying Binder. Okay.
It's definitely Binder. It's not Bender.
He said
like
Shade
Bender is if you go on a bender, like where you just indulge too much. Binder means where you're binding something to prevent it from doing something. It makes more sense.
Now that's a bender. A bender, honestly, is nothing.
A bender is nothing.
A bender is nothing. It's you know. It's not one ring to
I'm sorry.
And
a
one
bender,
ring to bend them.
A bender is a weaver of tapestries, according to dictionary.com.
You would pull out dictionaries.com, wouldn't you? You're that kind of guy.
Or I wouldn't.
Well, actually,
or I wouldn't, and I would say I did, right?
Exactly.
Early patch note preview.
Yeah. Oh, and we just need to clarify. Fallout Plays is one of my favorite content creators.
He's awesome.
I go to him to watch Twitch, although mostly he's been playing Fall Guys this week, but it's kind of fun to watch him even play Fall Guys.
Yes, it is.
Shout out to Fall Guys. I wish I had a PlayStation or a PC because it looks super fun. Yeah. But at least I can watch my favorite content creators play it and fall down.
It's a lot like the game. The game is a lot like Destiny, and so it's drawing a lot of the Destiny players over to it.
It's nothing like.
I think the fact that it's so different is its appeal, right? You need a break from Destiny. Mm-hmm. It's a great break from
it just looks like stupid fun is what it looks like, which is why I wish I could do it. But maybe if it continues its hype and continues its success, they will do a port for
let's get down to the early patch note preview, Salliebug, because Daniel has a lot of grinding to do for his magnificent armor. So
that's correct.
One of the first things actually has to do with Solstice of Heroes. It's the ornament glows. The Solstice of Heroes ornament glows are being fixed. After investigating the issue, we felt the difference between what they advertised and what they looked like was vast. So they've revisited the glow intensity of these ornaments and enhanced the in-game appearance to match the icon as closely as possible. That's fantastic that they're doing that, I think. That's just amazing.
And didn't they also patch, they sent out some bright dust patch, right?
I was a recipient of that bright dust.
It's almost like you get your little bonus bright dust, and that gives you enough bright dust to go and buy the glows, and now it's worth buying those glows because they're not just like these muted glows that don't look like anything. So
the game developers trying to take care of its players the best they can, right? And make them happy.
Because I did buy that glow. I had enough bright dust, so I bought it, and then I'm kind of agreeing with the other people. It's like, yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
But it's nothing super exciting.
Right. I'm
glad they're patching that.
And I'm glad I purchased it. I had been saving up a lot of bright dust. I was able to purchase those glows on each of my characters. So I was happy to give up the bright dust for that. And now I'm even happier I did it.
Too.
Sleeper nodes. Now, when you say sleeper and nodes together like this into one phrase, sleeper nodes, it could trigger some trauma in some players, I think. Yeah, that was a tough one. And I was one of those people who got obsessed with getting them all and I did get eventually I did get the emblem. It's just an emblem.
It wasn't just for the emblem, wasn't it? Also for the catalyst of
not that I recall.
Oh, you needed a certain number to get the catalyst.
Right. You didn't have to get them all for the catalyst. That's correct.
Yeah, but you and I kind of went into we kind of got.
Of course, someone in the community created a beautiful checklist that you could actually use in a spreadsheet, and that's what I did. And it had links to Esoterick's videos for the locations of each one that you needed, and so that facilitated it. And I like doing that stuff. And
it also gave very similar advice to what Bungie is advising here in terms of not getting those duplicate sleeper node, not unlocking duplicates. And I think I remember going through that, and we looked at it, and I can't remember whether it was going back to orbit. I think it was just going to different locations. Like if you fast travel to a different location outside of where the location was of your last sleeper node, that increased your chances of getting a different one.
Somebody was doing percentages, right?
But it increased your chances.
Yep. And I did use
and that if you were still getting duplicates, then it recommended going to orbit and almost like a complete
reset,
I
don't recall going to orbit
like
did anything.
I do. I remember going to orbit. There was a couple of times where it just says, if that's not working, go to orbit and do one in orbit, because then you're not linked to any location.
Okay, yeah. So the following will help you avoid duplicates and acquire those final elusive nodes. So basically what you do is you need resonance stems, which you get from chests, completing lost sectors, completing any activities on Mars, such as public events. I noticed they drop. So you need those resonance stems, and I certainly still had a surplus of them, just from doing Mars stuff over the last year or two. But you combine 4 of them, I believe, to make something called an override frequency. So you use that override frequency. The clue on it tells you where to unlock it. And so you go to the node, the sleeper node, and you unlock it. And right now they're saying the current state of it is, when you unlock it, it's very unlikely that you will unlock a node in your current area. So, for example, if you need to unlock a node in heatsink, you should leave heatsink before creating an override frequency, right? So, what they've done, there's an internal checklist of nodes you have unlocked. This checklist is separate from the count you see in-game. And prior to this fix, the checklist would be frequently cleared. So you'd have to start all over again, basically. Clearing this checklist is the reason duplicates were so common. Going forward, the checklist will never be cleared. If you create an override frequency for a node that you have opened in the past, you should open the node again instead of deleting the override frequency. This will allow the internal checklist to be updated. So this should have been in place when it came out all those years ago, right?
And it
all
wasn't.
of this,
it
and
was
it
really
wasn't.
super frustrating.
It was really frustrating.
And getting those override frequencies, like getting that currency, wasn't the easiest either. So, but Fractious Heart was saying she already gave up.
Yes, she's still missing 3, and let me tell you, she has put in the hours.
Yeah.
Well, I would say just wait for this patch to come out, because that patch is supposed to, like, the patch says it's not going to completely eliminate getting duplicates, but it's going to definitely decrease your chance of getting duplicates. So,
well, it seems like what they're doing is
I appreciate they're trying, but it's not enough. I know, it's like why it isn't just a process of elimination, and why they can't build that into it is a little frustrating for sure. But I would say at least once the patch comes out, give it a try.
All right, I'm in my multitasking mode here. I'm gonna sweeten the pot a little bit. I went back and actually did resonant stems, combined them to make override frequencies, because I wanted to collect the Polestar 2 ghost that's going away. And it took me about an hour to do it. And I just go into grind mode. I put some Spotify playlist on in the background, and I go into grind mode. But I did note what it was. It seemed like the Braytech schematics dropped from the unlocked nodes. I got, I think, about a 12% drop rate. I was able to get 5 in an hour, and on the 5th Braytech schematic, which you turn into Anna to get Braytech weapons, or the Polestar 2 ghost is in that. I think the original Polestar's in that loot pool as well. It took me about an hour to do that, and it's not that bad, but I would advise, if the prospect of getting another collectible helps you, and combined with the improvements they're making here with the sleeper node probabilities, if that's enough to get you back in to try it again, I'm going to link to Esoterick's beautiful video with timestamps in the description. So easy to use, and he's the greatest of the great when it comes to stuff like this. Besides being the greatest PvE
the one that's
player.
It's very bare bones, right? He just like has it going on in the background of what you need to do.
It's just amazing.
It's not like there's not a lot of talking over and all of that. It's very simple. You just follow, go to that.
Right.
Go to
it
that
removes
part.
much pain. He removes a lot of the pain of the experience.
If it's something, but again, and this is kind of one of the, I think, again, another segue here, is what do you prioritize with all that you have left to do? How do you prioritize, and what do you prioritize?
Yeah.
Especially from a casual perspective, from a perspective of, I only have probably
Fractious Heart already knows where they are by heart.
How do you prioritize? What do you prioritize? Especially like, I'm getting into that mode where I probably won't have time during the week, so it's just over the weekend. And then, of course, on weekends, you also have other things that you need to get done, so you don't always have like a good chunk of time. So prioritizing what you want to do and what you're going to, and you touched upon it. You touched upon it a little bit, Sooltime, with your checklist and what you're going after.
You need a checklist. You need something to.
Curious.
But I think
is there anything else in these patch notes before we move on to actually that?
Good point. Getting a little sidetracked here. It's good coffee.
Yeah.
There's the sleeper nodes, assorted fixes and changes. player spawn effects would freeze in Gambit. I thought that was on purpose, honestly. So that's good to
I
know.
thought that was on purpose too. I thought it's like, oh, they want you to like not get back into the play right away. If
Right,
you die,
that's what
you
I
have to,
thought
like,
too. I thought that was
you're
on
getting
purpose.
Punished.
Yeah.
I thought it was too. So nice to know that it's not, and that was just a bug.
The ADS on the Cold Denial ornament was different than the base weapon model. That's interesting. Yeah. Redrick's
I don't think I even put that on there.
Yeah, Redrick's broadsword is now available from collections, but it's going to have the first roll rewarded when completing the quest. Spider will begin offering 3 weekly wanted adventure bounties, up from 1. Now, this is going to help people who need, like Greenstego here, who need to complete their solstice armor. Because I think you have to do a certain number of adventures. And you can run out of adventures unless you have a friend to go down and offer you their adventures. So that's cool. You can go to Spider and get those done. Fixing an issue that prevented the exotic perk on the Merciless Fusion Rifle from triggering. Now, full disclosure, the last time we as a raid team did the Leviathan, I used the Merciless. And I didn't notice that happening. The exotic perk on the Merciless is that the charge rate goes down each time you fire it until the creature that you're firing at is dead. So it gets pretty cool, like against the tanky guys. It becomes a lot of fun.
It goes really fast.
Yeah.
So I haven't, and my full disclosure, I haven't pulled Merciless out of my vault in ages.
No, not since Forsaken.
I've just been using new stuff.
Okay, but of course these patch notes, everything we're talking about, is not going into effect until September 8th. So,
right.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have a whole nother podcast before this even goes live.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like 2 resets from now. We have a reset next Tuesday, and then September 8th will be the one after that. Yeah.
Yeah, is when that reset's happening. So, so take a break from trying to find your sleeper notes until that patch goes in, and just work on your solstice armor. Why not? Right? Because that solstice armor is going away on the 8th. Is it going away on the 8th? I think that's the solstice quest.
Solstice
and
of Heroes ends on the 8th.
And Greenstego, do not hesitate to ask for help.
That's definitely where your focus should be. If you haven't done that already, is your focus should be on completing what you need to do for Ava Levante.
Okay, it's lunchtime for a lot of us here in the U.S., Salliebug. So I'm going to say we call it.
I feel like we've covered everything we need to cover. We can talk more about Solstice next week and the finishing up of Solstice and and other such things. We'll take a look at we'll be able to talk about a little bit of those deeper dives from the developers on at least 2 of the 3 Stasis subclasses. So that'll be fun.
Yes.
It'll be a fun time.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Any last words from anybody other than that? It sounds like you've pretty much wrapped it up.
Enjoy your solstice grinding.
I would say if anybody from Bungie or Starbucks corporate is listening, let it be known that there is interest.
Needs to happen.
Stasis iced coffee would be a welcome treat.
I would buy it.
Yeah, Stasis iced coffee.
Only because it's coffee.
For sure. And it's Destiny, like our 2 favorite things in the world, outside of our cats.
Yes, outside of the kitties.
All right. Well, that's great.
I think this is another episode in the bag. So without further ado, you have been listening to the Paracasual Destiny Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to episode 7. Shout out to Funny Bone and Fractious Heart, as always, for their love and support and interesting input. You can find us on Twitter at ParacasualP and the Paracasual Destiny Podcast YouTube channel, where we broadcast live every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. if all things are going well, Eastern Daylight Time. Please consider a like, subscribe, or comment on Twitter or YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.